Every household needs them. We all know them, and we all have to have one. Today, we're going to be talking about doors. Oh, shit. No, sorry. We're going to be talking about Andor, not doors.
Let's talk about it.
Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperTalks. I'm Nick Dorian.
And I'm Kelvin Tay.
And we are going to be talking about the much anticipated Star Wars series, Andor.
I came with you to be part of something. The Empire cannot win. It's a different kind of mission.
Now, Star Wars hasn't exactly been on a very good trajectory.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Shall we talk about our second ever episode on freaking Acolyte?
Oh, my God.
So, safe to say, between Mandalorian Season 3, Obi-Wan, The Acolyte, Book of Boba Fett, confidence was not exactly at an all-time high.
Yes. Just like how we mentioned that we're on a superhero fatigue.
Yeah.
We have also been on somewhat of a sci-fi / Star Wars fatigue as well.
Now, I just say Star Wars fatigue because Disney is churning everything out. They're following the same format as Marvel is doing.
Exactly.
Let's put out as many shows and films and.
I am discounting. I am really discounting the fact that Disney and Star Wars has been coming up with a lot of amazing. Okay, I wouldn't say a lot, a handful of amazing animated series for Star Wars, right? But when it comes to the live action TV series itself, it has been more misses than hits.
Yeah.
But just like Andor, the episode that we're talking about, the last season came out about what 3 years ago,
around that,
right? About 3 years ago, and it was a raving success. Everyone loved it, myself included, and I feel like this is one of the rare few moments in Star Wars where there is no Jedis, no Sith, no lightsabers, pure Star Wars.
Yes. Andor feels like the Daredevil of the Star Wars cinematic universe, in the sense that it doesn't feel like Star Wars, but it is Star Wars.
Yep.
And it's a lot more of a deeper storytelling than the other Star Wars series we got. Because this almost, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Cassian is pretty much almost like a vigilante or a fugitive in that sense.
Okay.
He's constantly being chased and whatnot. So to follow his character and seeing just how brutal he can be, but also have this great morality discussion in his head, but at the same time has no qualms about killing a man. It's a fantastic show. It was a fantastic first season. And I think from what we've seen of the first 3 episodes, this is going to be another fantastic season as well.
And just adding upon to that, right? Like this season, we know that it's going to be broken down into chapters of 3. Altogether, there's going to be 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And every episode and every chapter is kind of jump a year of what, Star Wars people call BBY, before the Battle of Yavin. This is set 5 years BBY. Okay. 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. And unfortunately, or even fortunately, we know that Cassian is a dead man walking. Because if you haven't watched Rogue One, What Is Wrong With You? And if you have, you know that Cassian died eventually, right? This is not a spoiler, this is a fact. Right? And I love how we're seeing the build up from the Battle of Yavin. If you don't know, Battle of Yavin is the classic scene where Luke Skywalker fly his X-Wing to the Death Star, blew it up, and that was the Battle of Yavin.
And if you don't know, Kelvin is a massive Star Wars nerd.
Yeah, I was just tak semangat to bring all my Star Wars stuff down because I have a lot of Star Wars stuff upstairs.
If you want to see some of it, check out our second episode, The Acolyte. He brought all his books down.
So going back to the plot itself, right? We are looking at Andor season 2, set 5 years before the Rogue One movie. Altogether, there's going to be 12 episodes. Each chapter is about 3 episodes. That is a year apart.
Yeah.
Okay.
First chapter, I was like, oh damn, the show is back, and it is back.
From the scene started, episode 1, minute 1, you are straight into the action.
Yes.
What is Cassian up to now?
I'm sorry, but I love seeing Cassian just try to pilot this Imperial TIE fighter.
Which is also something that I really enjoy of Andor or even the Star Wars expanded universe, in a sense where they are just normal people trying to rebel.
Perfect. Yes, he's not perfect.
Yes.
He is essentially, what do you call it? Not a protester, but like an activist in that sense.
An activist. And because that scene, and before we go into the scene, just a bit of a segue. The TIE Avenger, which is that ship that we saw.
Yeah.
The fact that we have the TIE Avenger in a live action show is just mind blowing, because the TIE Avenger was first released in a Star Wars video game in the early 90s.
Oh.
And we have never seen this in the Star Wars universe before. And again, like previous show, knowing that this kind of things are what we call legend material coming into the canon material just blows my mind to see what else we can see in the future of Star Wars.
I think right now, this is getting my hopes up that, Star Wars may be on a better trajectory. I can't be certain. I don't know what Sean Levy is going to do with Ryan Gosling in his Star Wars film.
It's just Driver. It's just Star Wars. Star Wars / Driver.
And then
any movie with Ryan Gosling in it, it's just going to be a very dark, a very long, a very quiet.
Hey, we had Fall Guy. Fall Guy was fun.
It includes him driving as well.
Oh yeah, that is true.
A speedboat.
That is true.
Or what do you call it?
A speedboat,
jet
right?
ski?
No, he was riding a boat.
Yeah,
it wasn't a jet ski.
a boat.
And then, of course, we have whatever is happening with the Rey Palpatine. I'm not calling her Skywalker. The Rey Palpatine series. I don't know what's happening with that. But Andor is like the saving grace of the Star Wars universe. And after we come back from the break, we'll get more into the series and also why this series works so well compared to all the other series.
We saw Ben Mendelsohn's character came back as director Krennic. We saw him in Rogue One. He was fantastic.
Yeah.
He is one of the top echelons in the Empire's fleet. Right. He's a director, meaning that he's very, very high ranking as well.
Yes.
And I just want to say, just based on the characters, right, from Diego Luna to Stellan Skarsgård to Genevieve O'Reilly, and then in the trailer itself, we will be seeing Forrest Whitaker come back as Saw Gerrera as well.
Yes.
And one character that I feel like he's a very underrated, represented / appreciated character, Alan Tudyk's.
Alan Tudyk, yes.
He will be back as K2SO as well.
Who doesn't love Alan Tudyk?
All the characters, right, are so amazingly written.
Yes, they're so fleshed out.
Just based on the first 3 episodes that we saw this week, right? Let's just touch on Stellan Skarsgård's character, right? He has a dual personality. He plays Luthen, a antique seller or antique procurer.
A curator of antiques, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is his front, right?
Yes.
He plays this very clueless, nonchalant, antique guy. And then on the back end, he's this ruthless plotter that kills anything and anyone that comes his way.
And is still on the hunt for Cassian.
And is still on the hunt for Cassian. And then we have to talk about Genevieve O'Reilly as well. She the way her facial expression is crazy, because she is a politician. She's a senator of Chandrila.
Yeah.
But then on the back end, she's a rebel leader. She's a mother. She's a wife. And then you can see all the conflicts that it's going through.
There's a lot of internal acting going on, and it's very powerful, especially with characters like this. The more internal you go, the more powerful you feel.
There's one thing I want to add, which I believe not a lot of people talk about, but the costume design and the set design for the show.
I mean, Well, I mean, set design CGI, I guess.
A few parts you can clearly tell is CGI, but when you talk about the costume design, that's something that you can barely.
Yeah, no, you
do
can't. You
CGI
can't do
on.
CGI on.
From the scene of Genevieve's character is who again?
I can't remember the name, but I know who you're talking about. Senator Mothma. Mon Mothma, yes.
Mothma. You see her dress,
Yes.
right? And then you see Cassian's uniform when he was hijacking the TIE Defender. So beautiful.
Yeah, like I know I want that as a
Like,
cosplay outfit.
I want to wear that every day. I want to wear that every day.
Okay, you do you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you start seeing Kelvin dressed as an Imperial rebel fighter, you know what happened.
You know why.
That's where all his money went instead of getting a wide-angle lens. But one of the most massive things that I want to say about this show is one of the reasons why I feel why Andor works so well. It works well because it has the same thing that the Skeleton Crew had going for it, in the sense that it's not really connected to the Skywalker saga. Sure, Cassian does deliver the Death Star plans and whatnot, but it's not really integral to the Skywalker saga itself. They're able to tell an original story, something fresh. They don't have to worry too much about lore. And when you do that and you develop some originality behind it, that's when you can get creative, and a series like this and Skeleton Crew works so well compared to having backstories for characters like Ahsoka and Obi-Wan. You had to follow a timeline and it doesn't quite work because you're constrained to it. I feel like Marvel as well could learn something from this, that sometimes all we want is a good story.
Yes.
Give us good stories with good character work. That's all we need. We don't need all this flashy, oh, this has got to be connected to this and this has got to be connected to that. Sometimes we don't.
Yep.
The Amazing Spider-Man series, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series as well. Not connected to the MCU in the slightest. That works so well. When you remove the connections, that's when genius things happen. And I wish they would do more of this.
I feel like, again, it always goes back to, like, whenever you watch Star Wars, right, from Acolyte to any of the trilogies, right? It's always good versus bad. It's always black versus white. It's always red versus blue. It's always Sith versus Jedi, right?
Yeah.
But for shows like Andor, they strip out all of this, and it really makes you think why good people do bad things sometimes and why bad people do good things sometimes, right? Because you can see a lot of plot revolving around Andor, both season 1 and the 3 episodes in season 2 that we have watched. There's no real depiction of good and bad, right? You see the good guys still trying to figure out the whole Rebel Alliance thing, because in episode 2, Cassian was supposed to transfer the TIE Avenger to someone called Porky.
Porky, yes.
Porky, but then Porky is kind of like dead.
Yeah.
Because another rebel cell didn't know what the hell they were doing as well, right?
They were just attacking because they felt they were being provoked.
Right. And then you can see the very beginnings of the Rebel Alliance, where everyone's just trying to figure it out. Everyone's just in their own mushroom pockets here and there, and they don't know what really is going on. But the grand scheme of thing is they know the Empire is bad. They know the Emperor is bad.
Yeah.
Right? And they just want to do something about it. Right?
Now, to slowly wrap things up, I think the major question that we now got to ask ourselves is, what do we hope to see?
10 out of 10.
Okay, on the Clapper meter, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I would give it a solid
10 out of 10.
Give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I said 10, he said 8.
8, so that's
with
an
the
average of
10.
9. 9.
Okay, yeah, sure.
9.
Sure.
What do you...
It's okay to have opinions.
What do you hope to see moving forward to the next few episodes?
I truly want to see how this ties into Rogue One itself. Because our first ever screen time with Cassian is in Rogue One, where he just killed some random people, and then you can tell that, oh, is this guy good? Is this guy bad?
Yeah.
And now we're slowly getting his history, his background of how he became the ruthless Andor we know at Rogue One. For the next few episodes, I want to see the love story of how he met his best friend K2SO.
Yeah.
I want to see what are the smaller parts in play that will eventually lead up to the plans of the Death Star. I want to see how Andor slowly integrate, or how the rebel cells slowly integrate into the rebel alliance that we see in Rogue One.
Yeah.
And these are the small things that I want to see Andor season 2 slowly build up.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement with you in the sense that, I mean, at the end of the day, I want to see how it connects to Rogue One.
Yep.
How do we get there? Because that ultimately is the big question, which is eventually going to get answered, whether or not this season or future seasons, if they do another one. But that is the goal, and that's what I want to see, as well as hopefully seeing at some point, say he goes to the Death Star and there's like a Sith Lord named Darth Jar Jar who just pops out. That's what I really want to see. I want to see Cassian battle Darth Jar Jar.
Sure.
Because I think that would be great.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
So you go and catch the first 3 episodes of Andor season 2
It's
now
on Disney
out on
Plus.
Disney Plus Hotstar. By the time this episode comes out, maybe the next 3 episodes will be out as well. But at this moment in time, first 3 episodes are out. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. If you want to follow us at ClapperCorn on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube.
For more on the Malaysian podcasting scene, you can visit www.renegadeplus.com or find us at RRP Malaysia.
There you go. Thank you so much again for watching. I'm Nick Dorian. He's Kelvin Tay. Doesn't know how to talk.
Watch Andor.
Yeah. Keep watching the movies.
3, 2, 1.